You want me to put that on my Tudor?
Jaw clench, drugs, or fury. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. Harry's wife recently attended the Harry's Wife Games in Germany, and there has been much to analyse with regard to her performance there. A picture has emerged, which you'll see on your screens, which shows Harry's wife clearly in Dusseldorf. The sign above her head makes that clear. And it's not the most flattering of pictures, it has to be stated. But leaving that to one side, it does present us with an opportunity to explore further why she looks like this vis-à-vis her narcissism. There is no doubting that Harry's wife is a narcissist. I know this as a consequence of the detailed examination that I had undertaken of the evidence that supported it, and of course my own interactions that I've had with her. More of that to come in due course. Her narcissism has been reinforced by her actions since I declared that she is a narcissist. Time and time again, her behaviour has demonstrated and underpinned what she is. Here we see a photograph of her, which shows her jaw very firmly clenched, her lips pushed tight together, and a penetrating, boring stare. What are we witnessing? Well, remember, because she is a narcissist, we are able to interpret the way that she looks, the way that she talks, the way that she moves, her conduct generally through the prism of her narcissism when she is interacting with other people. It's clear from the picture that she is interacting with other individuals. Her hand is placed, I suspect, upon Harry, the white blob in the bottom right of the picture. Accordingly, because she's having interaction with other people, this means that she's governed by her narcissism. Narcissism, like a background app, needs to ensure that she brings people under control, keeps them under control, that she extracts fuel from them, and possibly, but not always, draw character traits and residual benefits from the situation also. Those four prime aims are always being sought by the narcissism in varying degrees. They are the consideration of the narcissism. If you remember the film RoboCop, where RoboCop had prime directives, the prime aims are similar. Each narcissist has the prime aims. They don't vary for the narcissist. From narcissist to narcissist, every narcissist needs control, fuel, character traits, and residual benefits. The manner by which they go about getting them will vary, dependent upon their sub-school and circumstances, but they're always being sought. With regard to this photograph, there are two potential explanations for what we're seeing. Some people have suggested that her appearance is as a consequence of drug taking. Now, we have no evidence at all that she has been taking any drugs. She's not been seen popping a pill or snorting a line, so there's absolutely no evidence to show that she's been taking drugs. However, the fact that she has this clenched jaw has caused some to believe that it's the clenching of the jaw as a consequence of drug use. That, for instance, the use of crystal meth can cause the clenching of jaws, the grinding of teeth, hands to be clenched. Others have observed that, in some instances, the vein in her forehead bulges particularly, and have speculated, is that linked to drug use? There's also the fact that many people have commented upon the quite noticeable veneers that Harry's wife has, and that they appear to be rather large for her mouth. Aunt Cassie007, writing on a Reddit thread, and the St. Harry's Wife Reddit thread, stated, methamphetamine, also called ice, crystal meth, glass shards or puff, this drug causes severe tooth decay in a very short time. The term meth mouth is used to describe the extensive damage typically caused by this drug. Methamphetamine is highly acidic and attacks tooth enamel. Again, there's no evidence that she's been taking drugs, and it's entirely speculation that the appearance that she has is down to some form of drug use. But you can understand why people's minds have gone there. It's a somewhat unnatural appearance. This very firm clenching of the jaw. You can see the neck muscles are straining. You can see that the muscles around the jaw are working hard. The lips are pressed together. And of course, it's forcing a somewhat artificial smile also. Therefore, people's minds have wandered to the suggestion that it might actually be drugs that are causing her to look this way. Or might it be something else? Well, it's potentially as a consequence of her narcissism. Remember, she has no emotional empathy. She can't connect to people. She attaches people to her, but she has no warmth, no genuine interest in others. She is governed subconsciously by the pursuit of the prime aims. And, as part of that, if she's not getting her own way, if she's not being attended to, if she's not being spoken to, if she's not being given the fuel that she craves, this will wound her. And one of the things that arises from that is the ignition of fury. The fury that churns away beneath the surface is there to suddenly rise to the surface to compel her, either through heated, ignited fury or cold, ignited fury, see my book Fury for more details, to then compel her to act in a particular way, to draw attention back onto her, start the fuel flowing, and cease the wounding. However, in many circumstances, her ignited fury is kept in check by her facade management as a mid-range narcissist. I've shown you in separate videos where that facade has strained, and this may well be another example of her facade management straining to keep the ignited fury in place. It's patently clear from this picture that she is not happy at where she is or what is happening. It's likely that Harry is receiving the attention and she is not. Remember, this is the Harry's Wife Games. It's not the Invictus Games. She rebranded it. And therefore, all attention must be on her. And even for the shortest moment, if it's directed elsewhere, it will wound her, causing that ignited fury to start to rise to the surface. Frantically, her facade management makes the decision, we can't let it pour out, otherwise it'll cause an almighty shit show and upset control over everybody else that's there. And thus, it fights to keep that ignited fury in place. And this is the result. You see the jaw clenching, the pursed lips, the eyes which are devoid of any warmth. Although there is some kind of strange, twisted smile adorning that visage, the eyes certainly aren't smiling, which belies the existence of the fury under the surface. Such is the wounding that she must have experienced and the strength of the ignited fury, that facade management is putting in overtime trying to prevent it from appearing, and it manifests through this jaw clenching. In a separate video where I analysed a short clip of her where a female interviewer dressed in beige was talking to Harry and essentially wasn't engaging with Harry's wife, we saw the jutting of the jaw and the clenching again. This is another example of it, but it has been caught magnificently in this photograph to show just how much effort the facade management of the narcissism is putting in place to keep that ignited fury in check. It's burning, it's boiling, it's trying to get to the surface, and the facade management is frantically saying, no, we can't let that emerge. We need to keep it in check. And this is the result. Accordingly, it's understandable that people may well believe that this appearance is as a consequence of drug taking, but in the absence of any actual evidence that she's done so, the more likely explanation is that you're witnessing the continuing battle between her facade management and her ignited fury, i.e., it's as a consequence of her narcissism. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.